Hello everyone, I am Sir Renner. I'm one of the developers for the Third Age, the Lord of the Rings mod for Victoria 2. And I wanted to take you guys through installing mods using GitHub Desktop. So I'm sure you guys have probably seen GitHub as a website that a lot of mods use to host the files that you install. And I'm sure many of you also go through and when there's a new version, you go ahead and delete the old version and then install the new version. Um, and so what GitHub Desktop allows you to do is install the version, or rather install the mod, and then when there's a version, you don't need to do any deleting. You can just click a button and it'll pull down the new files for you. So I'm not going to go ahead and take time to explain how to get your GitHub account set up or install GitHub Desktop. There's plenty of resources for that elsewhere. I'll let you guys look that up on to do your own research. And then once you've done that, this video will be helpful to you. So first things first, we're going to do two mods. We're going to do my mod, the Third Age, and then we're going to go on to GFM. Just due to the fact of how long it takes to download GFM and get it installed, it takes a couple of minutes. I didn't want to have to wait for that, so I went ahead and installed that already. And then once you're at the mod, first things first is you want to click on the green code button here and then hit the open with GitHub Desktop. And it'll give you a pop-up here asking if you want to open with the application. Just go ahead and allow it. And then you'll get this pop-up asking you to clone a repository. And make sure that this local path points to your mod folder, and then have the folder that it's actually pointing to, the subfolder within the mod folder, be whatever you want. I personally just let it do the default name that the repository has. And then you go ahead and hit the clone button. And there's a set of like 4 or 5 steps that it needs to go through. And basically what it's doing here is it's downloading the mod files and downloading all of the Git history associated with it. So if you happen to know which specific version you want to use, you can actually go back and use it. I'm not going to show you guys how to do that now, but it is something you can do. I think more importantly is just knowing how to get it installed, what sort of quick tweaks you need to make in order to do so, and then actually being able to do the one-click update. So if we just give a little bit of time, it'll come through and load. The Third Age is on the smaller side of mods, so it's going to be one of the faster ones to load. Then you got things like GFM that took me about, I think it was 4 minutes. So it's one of those things where it just takes a little bit of time as per usual. And so it's going to pop here automatically. It shows you what repository you're in. If you just click here, you can go ahead and access which ones you want to use. And from here, we want to go ahead and open up the mod files. So I happen to have this open already, and I took a previous take, so let's go ahead and delete that. And make sure that we got everything closed here. So let's go ahead and do that because I did not do a good job cleaning up for my previous take. Go ahead, I don't want that. No, go ahead, close that. And so first things you want to do is pop into the folder that you just created that has all the files. You want it to say common, decisions, events, all the way down, blah, 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 whatever the files that the mod itself actually has. And you want the .mod file. So we're going to copy that and then paste it out here. And so we want to double check, make sure that the path here listed is correct. It should be /mod/ whatever folder name you chose. So in this case, the Third Age is set up for this to work by default. So it's /mod/ TTA, and then all of a sudden you have the game files, which is what it should be looking at. The other place you want to check is in the default.map within the map subfolder. And you want to make sure that this is /mod/ the folder name you chose, and then map definition.csv, which is what we got here going on. It's mod TTA map definition.csv. And then from here, you just want to go ahead and launch the game. And that should go ahead and, we can already see just from the loading images that this is correct. So we're just going to tab out, let it load, do its thing. In terms of GFM, they have it set up a little bit differently. If we go ahead and we take a look here, we pop into here and we don't see that common decisions, events, localization map, all the fun folders that are associated with the mod. We pop in and we see the mod itself and then a whole bunch of submods. And so that means we're going to need to do a little bit of tweaking to this .mod file in order to make it work. So let's go ahead and do GFM and then GFM fantasy formables. I don't want the AOE ones, I want the GFM ones. So let's go ahead and pop these open. So we can see right here that the path is mod/GFM. GFM is in a folder here. We have greater flavor mod, so we're definitely going to need that. So it's going to be mod/GFM, or rather /greater flavor mod. And then there is a GFM folder right here, and then this has the folder structure that we're expecting. So this should be mod greater flavor mod /GFM. When we take a look at fantasy formables, it's the same sort of thing. So we want to update this to be mod greater flavor mod, and then the fantasy formables specific folder. And then let's go ahead and get the default.map here set up as well. And so mod greater flavor mod GFM map definitions. Basically, this path, if a mod is set up like pretty much every other mod, it's going to be mod. The path you have set here is going to start the same here, then it's going to go and say map and then definition.csv. And if we go ahead and we double check fantasy formables, most submods don't have a map folder in here, and this one doesn't, so we don't have to update anything. But if this was a submod that had a map folder, we would need to check for that default.map and update it accordingly if it existed. When we take a look here, the third H went ahead and loaded without issue. So we're just going to go ahead and leave it. No point in doing anything else there. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to launch GFM. And if we let it load for a little bit long enough to get past the black screen, hopefully we'll be able to see the loading screens for GFM, which suggests that we've set it up correctly. And that is the loading screen for GFM. So we're just gonna pop out of there and just let it load in the background. Nothing to really say. So if you mess up the .mod folder here, or rather this .mod, what's going to happen is it's not going to load your mod that you're trying to load. It's going to go ahead and load vanilla. And then if you go ahead and you mess up this default.map, it's going to give you an error that it cannot find the definitions file. So it's pretty clear when you make a mistake. And then in terms of updating it, you see there's this button here that says fetch origin. All you have to do is click it, and it's going to go ahead and run through the process. It might have a symbol like right here that is like, hey, there's 4 things to pull down. Just click it a second time if you see that. I don't happen to have an example on me right now, but it's gonna show a little bit differently, and you just click it until it kind of shows like this, and it says that it's up to date, last fetch just now, and there's no symbol here saying how many commits to pull down. That's the most important thing. So you pull everything down, and I would personally recommend whenever you pull down changes, you go to your cache folders. So for example, it's going to be documents, Paradox Interactive Victoria 2 for me. Go into the mod in question and then delete the GFX and the map folders. These are the 2 cache files that need to get deleted. The GFX having the flags and the map having the quads that get generated. Go ahead and delete those pretty much every time you pull down. Some mods will let you know when you need to delete them, others won't. Just as a safe way of doing it, I'd recommend deleting it every time you pull down. And do not update your mod when you're in the middle of a playthrough. Go ahead and wait till the end of a playthrough, because there's a bunch of things that can break your save game if you try to update it in the middle of a playthrough. So that is one caveat that I do want to say. And with GFM loaded, we can go in here and look, and this is definitely GFM. We have a whole bunch of Kurdish miners. If we just go ahead and we pop in, it should load without issue. It might take a little bit because it is GFM. But there we go. And there we go. And look at that. That's my name. Believe it or not, I've done some stuff for GFM in the past. At any rate, that's all I got for you guys. So if you made it to the end, thank you for your time today. I hope you guys have a good one. Bye.